In Greek mythology, where gods clash and mortals strive, Leto, the Titan, stands as a bridge between the ancient Titans and the newly ascendant Olympian order. She embodies more than just divine heritage. Her tale is one of enduring motherhood and trials that test even a goddess's resilience. From giving birth on a floating island to her fierce defense of her progeny, Apollo and Artemis, Leto's narrative threads through themes of divine jealousy, maternal love, and the intricate power dynamics among the gods. So today, we're going to learn about the myth of Leto in Greek mythology. As a Titan, Leto existed in a liminal space between the old order and the new. Not quite an Olympian, but far from powerless. Her existence was one of reverence mixed with vulnerability, especially evident in her interactions with Hera, the Olympian queen of the gods. Leto's role in mythology often highlights this tension. She was not one of the ruling gods who directly influenced daily human affairs or natural phenomena, yet her children, Apollo and Artemis, were pivotal in the Olympian pantheon. This dynamic underscores the complexity of divine hierarchies, where lineage alone did not dictate power or influence, but rather the shifting alliances and conflicts within the divine family. The myth of Leto's divine parentage serves multiple narrative purposes. It connects her to the ancient and revered lineage of the Titans. It provides a backdrop of cosmic history and celestial wisdom, and it also positions her as a figure of transition, embodying the generational shift from Titan to Olympian rule. Her story reflects themes of endurance, the protective power of motherhood, and the nuanced interplay between old and new in the mythological landscape, where power is not just inherited, but also won through cunning, alliances, and sometimes divine childbirth. Leto's role as one of Zeus's consorts places her within a web of divine relationships that define much of Greek mythology. Zeus, known for his numerous romantic escapades, chose Leto not just out of caprice, but perhaps for her connection to the Titans, adding depth to his divine lineage. Their union, marked by the birth of Apollo and Artemis, was significant not only for the power it brought Zeus through his progeny, but also for the trials it subjected Leto to, highlighting her as a symbol of enduring maternal love and protection amidst adversity. The offspring of Zeus and Leto, Apollo and Artemis, became central figures in the Olympian pantheon, each embodying multifaceted aspects of divine influence. Apollo, with his domains over music, prophecy, and the sun, brought light and order to the world, while Artemis, with her connection to the hunt, wilderness, and childbirth, represented the untamed natural world in the cycle of life. Their births were monumental events, fraught with Hera's jealous wrath, which underscores the theme of divine strife within family dynamics. Leto's ability to bear these children despite Hera's curse showcases her resilience and the protective aspects of motherhood, themes deeply woven into her narrative. Leto's relationship with Zeus was not just a fleeting affair, it was a significant chapter in divine mythology. It illustrated the complex interplay between love, power, and fate. Her story with Zeus is a testament to the enduring impact of divine unions, where the children born from such relationships often become pivotal in the unfolding drama of gods and humans. Through her trials and eventual triumphs, Leto's story with Zeus serves as a bridge between the old Titan gods and the new Olympian order, highlighting the transition and transformation within the mythological hierarchy. Hera's reaction to Leto's pregnancy by Zeus was a vivid demonstration of her infamous jealousy, a trait that often colored her interactions with Zeus's numerous lovers. Upon learning of Leto's condition, Hera, consumed by rage and envy, took drastic measures to ensure Leto's suffering. She cursed Leto, decreeing that she could not give birth on any land that was considered solid earth, island, or under the sun's warmth. This curse forced Leto into a relentless odyssey, searching for a place to deliver her twins, Apollo and Artemis, where Hera's wrath could not reach. Leto's plight was exacerbated by Hera's relentless pursuit to isolate her. Legends recount how Leto wandered the earth, desperate for refuge, but no land dared to offer sanctuary for fear of Hera's curse. Finally, in her extremis, Leto found solace on the floating island of Delos, which was not technically part of the mainland or anchored to the ocean floor, which allowed her to escape Hera's edict. Here, after enduring excruciating labor, Leto gave birth to Apollo and Artemis. The birth of these twins, especially Apollo, marked a significant event in Greek mythology, symbolizing the dawn of a new era of gods, with Apollo becoming one of the most revered deities. The ordeal of Leto did not end with childbirth. Hera's wrath continued to affect Leto's life and that of her children. In various myths, Hera sent creatures and giants to harass Leto, demonstrating her ongoing bitterness, yet these trials also served to underscore Leto's resilience and the protective instincts of her children, who would grow to defend their mother fiercely. This narrative thread not only highlights Hera's character as the protective yet vengeful goddess, it also elevated Leto's status as a symbol of enduring motherhood and divine lineage, bridging the gap between the old and the new order. The floating island of Delos emerges as a sanctuary in the myth of Leto, providing her with not only refuge where she could escape Hera's curse, Delos, unlike any other land, was not anchored to the sea floor. It drifted freely on the waters, which technically allowed it to bypass Hera's prohibition against Leto giving birth on any terra firma. This unique geographical feature of Delos made it a liminal space, neither fully land nor sea, thus giving Leto a loophole in Hera's decree. This island, previously barren and unremarkable, gained immense significance as the birthplace of Apollo and Artemis, transforming it into a sacred site in Greek mythology. And the act of giving birth on Delos was no small feat. Leto's labor was said to have lasted 9 days and nights, a testament to her endurance and the severity of Hera's curse. The island, initially hesitant to offer refuge due to fear of Hera's wrath, was persuaded by Leto, or in some versions, by the promise of future glory and divine protection. Once the twins were born, Delos was forever anchored to the ocean floor by Poseidon at the request of Apollo, ensuring its sanctity and permanence. This act not only physically stabilized Delos, but also metaphorically solidified its place in mythology as the cradle of divine prophecy and music. Delos, post-birth, became a focal point of worship for Apollo, with festivals and oracles established in his honor. The island's transformation from a floating, insignificant landmass to a fixed, revered site underscores themes of creation, transformation, and divine favor. Leto's choice of Delos for her refuge and the subsequent anchoring of the islands illustrate how divine intervention can alter the physical world, mirroring the mythological transition from chaos to order, from the wandering to the rooted. The story of Delos not only served as a backdrop to the birth of Apollo and Artemis, it was also a symbol of divine intervention's profound impact on the natural world. The myths surrounding the birth of Apollo and Artemis are steeped in drama and divine intervention, reflecting the complex relationships among the gods. According to one of the more detailed accounts, Artemis was born first on the island of Delos. Immediately after her birth, it is said that she helped her mother with the delivery of her twin brother Apollo, showcasing her innate divine nature and establishing her role as a helper in childbirth. The birth of Apollo was no less dramatic. It's described in myths as a labor that lasted 9 days and nights, an ordeal that underscored Apollo's eventual importance in the trials his mother endured. Leto's suffering during this period also highlights themes of divine endurance, protection, and the lengths to which a mother would go for her children, even when facing the wrath of other gods. Post-birth, the twins' arrival was celebrated but also marked by Hera's continued animosity. Despite the miraculous births, Hera's wrath didn't subside, leading to further myths where Apollo and Artemis defended their mother against threats. These stories not only emphasize the twins' loyalty and protective nature towards Leto, but also set the stage for their own myths where they would grow to embody various aspects of the divine. Apollo with the sun, music and prophecy, Artemis with the moon, hunting and chastity. The tale of Niobe and the Niobids serve as a stark reminder of the dangers of hubris in Greek mythology, particularly when it comes to challenging the gods. Niobe, the queen of Thebes, boasted of her superiority over Leto due to her 14 children, a direct affront to Leto's maternal pride over her 2 divinely powerful children, Apollo and Artemis. Niobe's arrogance was not just in numbers, but in suggesting that her mortal offspring were somehow greater than Leto's divine progeny. This boast echoed through the divine realms, inciting the wrath of Leto's children, who felt compelled to defend their mother's honor. The retribution was swift and merciless. Apollo and Artemis unleashed their divine arrows upon Niobe's children. Apollo struck down all of Niobe's sons, while Artemis killed all of her daughters. The narrative often portrays this act not just as vengeance, but as a restoration of divine order, where the hubris of mortals is met with divine justice. Each child's death was a poignant reminder of the folly of comparing mortal achievements to divine ones. Niobe, in her grief, turned to stone, a perpetual symbol of sorrow and the consequences of overweening pride. Her story serves dual purposes in mythology. It underscores the theme of nemesis, retribution, where pride leads to downfall, and it reinforces the protection and avenging changing aspects of Apollo and Artemis. This myth also illustrates the complexity of divine-human interactions, where gods, despite their immortality, are deeply affected by human actions, particularly those that touch upon their honor or the honor of their kin. The protection of Leto by her children is not just a tale of familial loyalty, but a profound lesson on the limits of mortal pride in the face of divine authority. Leto's cult and worship were widespread in the ancient world, reflecting her significance in Greek mythology, not just as the mother of Apollo and Artemis, but as a titaness with her own divine standing. Delos, the island where she gave birth, became a pivotal center of her worship. Here, Leto was venerated alongside her children, and the sanctuary at Delos was not only a place for her cult, but also a major religious site for Apollo. The island's transformation from a barren floating land to a sacred space anchored by divine will symbolized her enduring influence and the divine protection she offered. Another significant site was the Lagoon in Lycia, one of the few places outside Greece where Leto was worshipped extensively. The Lagoon was a sanctuary complex dedicated to Leto, Apollo, and Artemis, with inscriptions and artifacts indicating that it was a focal point for religious activities and political identity in the region. This sanctuary, along with its monumental structures like the temple and the theater, highlighted Leto not just as a mother figure, but as a deity with her own rights and followers, illustrating her widespread cultic importance beyond the Greek mainland. Worship of Leto often involved rituals that celebrated her role in childbirth, motherhood, and her protective nature. Festivals, offerings, and hymns were dedicated to her, especially in places where her children's cults were also prominent. Her worship, however, was less about direct intervention in human affairs compared to her children, but more about reverence for her divine heritage and her role in the divine hierarchy. This aspect of her cult underscores the theme of continuity and the honoring of ancestral gods, showing how Leto was integrated into both the Olympian and local religious practices, bridging old and new in the religious landscape of ancient Greece and beyond. Leto's role in Greek mythology, even though it's often overshadowed by the exploits of her children Apollo and Artemis, is profoundly significant. As a Titan goddess and consort of Zeus, her story encapsulates themes of divine lineage, maternal endurance, and the transition from the old order of Titans to the new Olympian gods. Her trials, particularly during her pregnancy and the birth of her twins on the floating island of Delos, highlight her resilience against Hera's wrath, underscoring the strength and protective nature of motherhood within the divine narrative. Leto's cult and worship further illustrate her enduring importance in the religious life of the ancient world. Sites like Delos and the Lagoon in Lycia become not just places of worship for her, but also symbols of her influence, connecting her to both the celestial and earthly realms. Her story serves as a bridge between the mythological past and the present, offering lessons on hubris, divine justice, and the sacredness of familial bonds as seen in the myth of Niobe and her children. Ultimately, Leto's mythos contribute to a richer understanding of the complex web of relationships, power dynamics, and the divine interactions in Greek mythology. She stands as a testament to the enduring power of maternal figures, the consequences of divine jealousy, and the honor in defending one's lineage, weaving her narrative into the broader tapestry of ancient Greek culture and religion. Through Leto, we see not only the trials of a goddess, but also the eternal themes of love, loyalty, and the respect due to divine ancestries.
All right, that's all I've got for today. If you like it, give us a like and subscribe. If you don't like it, that's okay too. Other than that, have a great day.